Number 6. C. Murda. Popular rapper C. Murda was out enjoying a night with his friends at Louisiana's Platinum nightclub, but a moment of rage led one thing to the other and caused him to make a decision that would haunt him for years to come. Corey Miller emerged as a rising star amidst the pulsing beats of the hip-hop scene, deep in the heart of the 1990s. Now popularly known as C. Murda, the man carved his path to fame under the wing of his older brother, Master P, who owned the legendary company known as No Limit Records. The label's powerhouse supergroup, True, was led by none other than Corey himself, whose rhymes echoed through the streets and into the hearts of his fans. But this happy story took a turn for the worse on the fateful night of January 12, 2002. Louisiana's Platinum nightclub was booming with the usual customers. Colorful lights blinked on and off, and people chatted eagerly. Bouncers checked IDs at the door, while others waited to get inside. The excitement was building as everyone looked forward to a fun night ahead, as did Corey Miller, who was there on the scene with a bunch of friends. But suddenly, one thing led to the other, and a fight broke out. The bouncer refused to let Corey Miller inside the club with a gun, despite the rapper's insistence. This, in turn, escalated conflict on either side, and hordes of people got involved in a flurry of chaos. In the middle of all this, 16-year-old Steve Thomas fell victim to a fatal shooting, forever altering the lives of those involved. Among the witnesses was bouncer Darnell Jordan, who claimed to have seen Corey's friends manhandle the boy to the ground. As Steve lay there with his arms over his chest in a defensive stance, the bouncer says he saw C. Murda pull the trigger. Another testimony backed up his words, stating they saw a muzzle flash and the shot echoed throughout the tragic night. Police arrived on the scene shortly to disperse the disturbance, but the damage had already been done. Corey Miller's journey took a dark turn as he found himself convicted of second-degree killing. However, the tale took an interesting turn in 2018. One of the witnesses, a man named Kenneth, stepped forward and signed a document saying he was pressured into blaming C. Murda for the killing. He was firm in his belief that he didn't see the rapper shoot Steve. If that wasn't enough, another witness by the name of Darnell also wrote a letter affirming that he was sure C. Murda didn't commit the crime. But unfortunately, these testimonies were not enough. The legal system proved to be a formidable opponent, and a judge declared that this new evidence wasn't strong enough to warrant a retrial, deeming it suspect. Yet, despite the odds stacked against him and over 15 years spent behind bars, Master P's younger brother continued to fight for his freedom with determination and assistance from supporters. Number 5. YNW Melly. YNW Melly was only 16 when he wrote a popular ballad, the title of which translates to "Killing on My Mind." But the world was not prepared for the darker side of those lyrics, and nor did anyone foresee the subsequent crimes the ballad would lead to. Jamel Maurice Demons, now known as YNW Melly, was born to a 14-year-old mother in an impoverished area and faced hardships early on in his life. Despite the challenges as he grew, he harbored dreams beyond the boundaries of his upbringing. Finally, 19 years later, Melly defied all expectations and emerged as a sensation in the music world. But unfortunately, this is where things started taking a muddy turn. In 2016, when he was just 16 years old, Melly found himself behind bars, having been involved in aggravated assault and illegally possessing a firearm. It was during this time that he penned one of the most haunting ballads ever written, a detailed first-person account of accidentally killing a friend. After this, Melly constantly was caught on the wrong side of the law, but nothing could compare to what happened in October of 2018. Just a few days after Melly's documentary was aired, two of his closest friends, also depicted as his companions in the film, fell victim to a violent shooting and left the whole community in shock. From first appearances, it seemed that the two youngsters had been gotten rid of in a drive-by shooting, and while on one hand the world mourned their loss, on the other hand detectives decided to dig deeper into the case. Detectives started piecing the puzzle together and decided something wasn't quite right. Suspicion fell upon Melly and another individual present during the fatal encounter, and a chilling accusation emerged. Melly and his friend, both who seemed devastated by the killings, stood accused of orchestrating them. In February 2019, the state of Florida leveled serious charges against Melly and his companion, accusing them of 2 counts each of first-degree killing. Apparently, forensic evidence from the scene revealed that Melly and his friend were responsible for killing the two and then placing them in a car to make it seem like a drive-by shooting. The case drew widespread attention, with social media ablaze with speculation and scrutiny. As the lyrics of Melly's popular Killing ballad circulated online, some drew connections between the song's themes and the real-life tragedy unfolding before them. The stakes escalated dramatically when Melly's prosecutors announced their intention to seek the death penalty against him. However, in a surprising turn of events, a judge allowed Melly's defense team to submit an appeal that would serve to disallow the state from pursuing capital punishment, claiming the prosecution's handling of the case was erroneous. Yet the respite was short-lived. In November of the same year, another judge overturned the lower court's ruling, paving the way for the prosecution to once again pursue the death penalty. With the guillotine of capital punishment looming above his head, Melly's future hung in the balance as he braced himself for the legal battle ahead. Number 4. Tory Lanez. Famous rapper Tory Lanez has his fair share of celebrity friends, having grown up with names like Megan Thee Stallion, but a gamble of life and death during a night in 2020 cracked the friendship irreparably. Daystar Shemuel Shua Peterson, now popularly known as Tory Lanez, was born in Brampton, Ontario. Daystar was given his name Lanez by a close friend called Hakeem as a comment on his thrill-seeking tendencies, which sometimes saw him mucking around in the street, not looking for traffic and playing in the lanes. However, this same behavior caused his parents to kick him out to go live with his cousin in Jamaica, Queens, New York, but that only turned a bad situation into an even worse one, as the turbulent environment there amplified his problematic behavior. One thing led to the other, and Lanez eventually found himself on his own in Toronto as his grandmother refused to take care of him any longer. Alone and vulnerable at just 15 years old, Lanez found shelter with 3 strangers in downtown Toronto, but life with them was far from easy. A year later, at the age of 16, Lanez dropped out of 10th grade and began pursuing music as a career, starting off by performing songs in outdoor concerts. At the age of 17, he officially began singing, and that marked his rise in the music industry. Little did he know his journey was about to take a dramatic and public turn. One fateful summer night in 2020, Lanez found himself thrust into the spotlight for reasons far removed from his music. Lanez, his friend and popular rapper Megan Thee Stallion, and another female friend visited a party in the Hollywood Hills, hosted by none other than Kylie Jenner herself. As the night sky sparkled above, the party buzzed with music and joy. People danced together under the stars, laughing and sharing stories. However, what happened after changed the trajectory of Lanez's life entirely. The friends were on their way home in a car when tensions escalated. One thing led to the other, and shots were fired, after which police rushed to the scene. The first thing Megan told them was that glass got stuck in her feet, which made it difficult for her to walk, but the reality of what happened was revealed only later. Megan Thee Stallion's account of the events that transpired that night painted a horrifying picture. She claimed that after an argument erupted in the vehicle, Lanez fired shots at her, resulting in injuries to her foot. Lanez then offered her and her friend a substantial amount of money to keep quiet about the incident. Megan further clarified she only lied about the injuries being caused by glass because she was scared of what the police would do in retaliation if they found out there was an active shooting. Lanez, however, vehemently denied these accusations. In his 5th album, Daystar, released shortly after the incident, he addressed the shooting head-on, proclaiming his innocence and accusing Megan and her team of conducting a smear campaign against him. Despite Lanez's protestations, the legal ramifications of the incident were swift and severe. In October 2020, he was formally charged with felony counts of assault with a firearm, among others. A protective order was issued against him, mandating that he stay away from Megan and refrain from contacting her. Number 3. Blueface. With a net worth of $4 million, Blueface is among the few rappers who enjoy a life of privilege. However, it all goes horribly wrong after a physical altercation outside San Fernando Valley. Jonathan Porter was born in the buzzing streets of Los Angeles, where dreams are born and destinies are forged. But to the world, he was famously known as Blueface, a formidable rising artist in the hip-hop scene. Before he entered the spotlight of the music industry, he lived quite a life. In his earlier years, he was a talented athlete back in his school, with enough prowess to command the football team on the field like a true leader. As a starting quarterback for his high school team, he etched his name into the granite of history, leading his squad to a conquered East Valley League championship in 2014. With an impressive 21 touchdowns under his belt, he seemed destined for greatness on the turf. Yet fate had other plans in store for the young Jonathan. In 2014, he made the bold decision to commit to Fayetteville State University, ready to take his talents to the collegiate level. However, his journey on the football field was cut short as he bid farewell to college football in 2016, setting his sights on a different kind of field, the stage of the rap scene. And his new endeavors saw nothing but success. With a captivating presence and an offbeat style of rapping, he was able to gather a lot of attention from fans worldwide and quickly rose in prominence in the hip-hop scene. His breakout moment came in 2018 with the release of the music video for his hit song, Respect My Crippin', and the rest was history from that point on. But fame comes with its own set of challenges, and Blueface suffered his fair share of bumps along the road. In November of 2021, he found himself embroiled in a controversy like never before. Blueface and his friends decided to visit a lounge in the San Fernando Valley, and under the flickering streetlights, the night air hummed with anticipation as a line of eager partygoers snaked around the corner. But there was one problem. Blueface was not allowed to enter the club without an ID, which he didn't possess in the first place. As a way to negotiate his way inside, Blueface tried showing the bouncer he was famous by searching himself up on Google in front of him. However, the bouncer denied him entry again. This is the point where things took a turn for the worse. Blueface and his friends decided to assault the bouncer, knocking him onto the ground and repeatedly stomping on him. The brutal assault was caught on video, and footage circulated online of the horrific abuse. Once they were done beating him up, they grabbed and stole a chain around the bouncer's neck. As a result, he and 2 others were arrested on charges of felony assault and robbery. He was eventually released on probation, and it seemed like smooth sailing for a bit, until he got caught violating his probation in January 2024 and was put behind bars again. Despite his legal troubles, today Blueface remains undeterred in his pursuit of success. Number 2. G-Dep. G-Dep saw success in many forms, be it devoted fans, money, or fame, but he was hiding a secret so grim from the world that his nights became sleepless, up until the day he decided to confess. Travell Gerald Coleman, known to the world as G-Dep or Ghetto Department, was born in New York City. With his talent and drive, it wasn't difficult for him to secure a recording contract with Puff Daddy's renowned Bad Boy record label at a whopping $350,000. But beneath the glitz and glamour lurked a shadow, a haunting secret that gnawed at Coleman's conscience for years. One fateful night in 1993, when he was 18 years old, before he even released his music to the world, he attempted to rob a man by the name of John Henkel near the subway station. When Henkel didn't comply immediately, Coleman pulled out a gun and tried to intimidate the victim. However, Henkel lunged forward to grab the weapon. At that moment, Coleman made a decision that would shatter the dreams he envisioned as a young boy. Coleman shot the man dead and fled the scene. It was a perfect crime, too, as the investigation ended in a dead end, and the story was wrapped up as a cold case. He would have gotten away with it, but there was another problem. For years after the incident, Coleman lived with the weight of uncertainty, haunted by the reality of having taken a life. The guilt and remorse followed him relentlessly, fueling his downward spiral into trouble with the law. This led to him joining a rehabilitation facility in 2010, where he finally realized there was only one way to get the burden off of his chest. With a heavy heart and a trembling resolve, he made the courageous decision to seek redemption. That mindset led him straight to the police station, intending to confess his crimes to the officers, and in December 2010, he confessed and was subsequently arrested. And as the wheels of justice turned, Coleman's fate was sealed. He stood trial and was ultimately convicted of second-degree killing. On May 8, 2012, he was sentenced to 15 years behind bars, a harsh but necessary punishment for the choices he had made, which allowed him a chance to find peace within the confines of his own soul. Number 1. Young Thug. When Young Thug formed his record label, Young Stoner Life, the last thing he expected was to be caught up in a web of deceit, being affiliated with terrifying gangs of Atlanta, but as fate may have it, he was caught on the wrong side of the law. Jeffrey Lamar Williams, also known as Young Thug, rose from the humble confines of the Jonesboro South Projects. From early on, he laid the foundation for his empire, the YSL Collective, or the Young Stoner Life, with nothing but sheer determination and a vision for greatness. To his fans around the world, Young Stoner Life was the record label that released his own music, as well as that of his peers and protégés, with the most successful being the rapper Gunna. Under the moniker of Young Thug, Jeffrey carved out a niche for himself in the rap world, and with his distinctive mumble-like delivery, it wasn't long before he soared to the pinnacle of success, becoming an award-winning artist revered by fans and peers alike. Unfortunately, it didn't take long for Jeffrey's empire to come crumbling down. In May of 2022, Jeffrey and 26 others were found linked to Young Slime Life, an Atlanta-based gang implicated in a web of criminal activity, and Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis unleashed a formidable 56-count indictment on the rapper. Prosecutors alleged that Young Stoner Life, Jeffrey's label, was linked to the gang somehow, and accused him of violating Georgia's Racketeering and Influenced and Corrupt Organizations, or RICO Act. But Jeffrey denied these accusations and pleaded not guilty, refusing to accept that there were any ties between YSL and gang affiliations. His legal team mounted a spirited defense, adamantly refuting the prosecution's claims and re-emphasizing that YSL's sole dedication was to music. However, a bad situation only proceeded to turn worse. In a courtroom brimming with tension and controversy, an Atlanta judge delivered a ruling on November 9th that sent shockwaves through the music industry. Fulton County Superior Court Chief Judge Earl Glanville pronounced that lyrics, a poetic expression of artists, would now be admissible as evidence in a criminal case. The judge allowed the prosecutors of the case to examine 17 specific sets of lyrics and use them as evidence, provided they could establish their relevance to the accused crimes. Among the songs slated for examination were titles like Ooh, Just How It Is, and Mob Ties, each offering insight into the existence of a gang, the alleged involvement of the defendants in criminal activities, and their mindset concerning the crimes at hand. As a result, on a fateful day in November 2023, Jeffrey was charged with a 5-year prison sentence. He was convicted of racketeering, conspiracy, and unlawful possession of firearms, finding himself stripped of his freedom, the weight of his choices bearing down upon him with unrelenting force.